All right, gentlemen, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? This is your man Orlando Presents, and you have tuned into QuakeRadio.com live. Let's get it started. Let's go.
Persist in the midst of adversity. See, we were promised to have trouble in this world, but with Jesus we win. Let's go. Keep it moving on, even through the storm. 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 Every day it seems I wake up to an obstacle, but with God I understand that everything is possible. Keep it in my mental like a weapon in my arsenal, written in my heart like stories coming from an article. I don't think it's logical to say this road is simple. Sometimes I'm like the prodigal, I'm turning from my kinfolk. Shaky, but I trust the narrow path to lead to life. Maybe time for me to let go of the fear and fight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is QuakeRadio.com live. I'm your humble host, Orlando Presents. You just got through listening to PITMOA intro, and that is by our brother Sam Purpose. Make sure you go check out that album, PITMOA. That stands for Persist in the Midst of Adversity. Persist in the midst of adversity. Yes, amen. Tonight, I feel very special, man, because this is the second night that I had my brother, Captain J, on the line with me. So I feel special, man. I definitely feel special. I must have been, living my life right in another time or something or whatever. But, I feel special tonight. But tonight, man, also we have a very special guest on the line with us, man. This brother is he has been a very well supporter of Quake RYC Praise News, where music is therapy. He shares a lot of our information. He's on the team with us, to try to draw in more listeners, draw in more ears. He also has his own ministry, which we're going to get into that. But let's introduce you to our brother, Jared. Jared, how you doing, bro?
Man, how y'all fellas doing tonight? Man, I'm doing dang near skippy.
Uh-oh.
Look, that's pretty good right there. If you dang near skippy, you're doing real good.
Okay. Yeah. Man, I'm gonna have to. I didn't know I was gonna have to take out my country almanac to be able to do this interview and everything. But it's all good though. It's all good, man. As long as everybody else knows out there that you're not actually just talking about Skippy peanut butter and everything, but it's all good. We love having you on here, bro. I mean, it's a great time, man. It's always good to chop it up with different people and different supporters, and especially folks that have their own ministries and that's been doing it for a while as well. So let the folks know, just in case if we have some folks on here that may not know, who you are. Let them know who you are and a little bit about your ministry.
So I live in South Alabama. I live in a little redneck town of 1,400 people, and I live kind of out in the country, and go to a Baptist church up here, Grove Hill Baptist Church, which is awesome. I want to shout them out. And I started this ministry. It's called Coon Hunters Outdoors Ministries, and since I live in the outdoors, we do a lot of hunting and fishing and that kind of thing. And coon hunting's been a sport for many, many years, where you take your dogs out, your hound dogs, you take your GPS system and anything else, and you go out and you tree these coons, you shoot them, and it's pretty cool. And so there's a guy, can't think of his name. Bob Osborne's the guy's name. He runs a business called Timber Creek Dog Supply, and all these big hunting expos we would go to that are like these big hunting events for coon hunters. I would always, especially the one in Mississippi, was where I would mainly see him at over there at the called the UKC Winter Classic. which is a pretty large event. It's like the Buckmaster's deer hunting expo, but it's for coon hunters. And it's 3 days of nothing but like coon hunting stuff on sale, dogs and people fellowshipping and all kind of vendor booths. And this guy Bob always had a booth for Timber Creek Dog Supply, and then he always had another booth called Coon Hunters for Christ. And so, like, it was pretty cool. So he had this ministry where he would witness to these coon hunters at these events, and he had T-shirts for sale, and he would tell them about Jesus and stuff. And I got to talking to him one time. I said, "Hey, Bob, I really like what you're doing." I asked him about his ministry, and he said, "Well, I don't have time to run it anymore, and because I stay so busy with my, my store selling hunting supplies." And he said, "Well, he said, talk about he just didn't have time to do his ministry as much as he'd like." And so I asked him, I said, "What about doing a South Alabama chapter for your ministry?" He said, "That'd be great." He said, "Well, just hit me up on Facebook and we'll talk about it." So I hit him up a few times and never heard back from him. And I just figured he was busy. So I said, "You know what? I'm going to start my own ministry." And so it was about 2017, and one of my best, I got two really good best friends, and one of them is my buddy Matt Harville. And he helped me come up with this ministry. And this is about 2017, I think it was. And I said to myself, man, I go to all these hunting events, and there's a lot of hunters and fishermen that don't know Jesus, and I want to teach them about coon hunting and the outdoors, and then teach them about Jesus, the 1-2 punch. Because everybody needs to know about Jesus. There's a lot of lost people in the hunting community. There's a lot of lost people all over the world, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to start a ministry. So I came up. I can't remember exactly how I came up with the name, but it was either Matt gave me the idea or I can't remember. Anyways, it's called Coon Hunters Outdoors Ministries. And so, like, it's pretty cool because I like setting up at these different hunting events and setting up a booth and passing out free witnessing tracts. And then I sell T-shirts too, and I sell decals to help my ministry and some other stuff. And maybe one day, if the Lord wills, it'll be bigger. But one of the things, like, so I've got two old logos, and then my cousin Joseph, his wife, helped me with the first one. And then another guy I used to be friends with made another one for me. And then I got my two new logos, which my friend Ron Southern, Racing Towards Jesus Ministries, he made me two new logos. And it's pretty cool because, like, one of my logos, so I know you guys interviewed Rusty Shipp a few weeks ago. And I'm a huge Rusty Shipp fan because I listen to a lot of Christian rock music. And so, like, I was sharing their music on my ministry page, and Russ and AJ, I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the two. They commented on my post, and they saw my logo, and my original logo, or my second logo, was the coon on the cross. And you see the hunter in the distance walking up to the cross, and then you see the dove coming off the cross, and then my other logo is, of course, or one of my other logos is the two coons up in the cross, and the dogs treated it. And they asked me, they said, "Well, what does that represent?" I had never thought about it until they asked me, and it's still on my page. You'll have to scroll back through there. But it was pretty cool they asked me that because they said, "What does that represent?" The hunters, and the dogs right there at the cross. And so my new logo is a half cross and half tree, and it's red, white, and blue because I'm patriotic, and the red represents Christ's blood. And so one of the things that I thought about when they asked me that, I said, you know what? I said, that represents looking up to Christ or looking up for Christ. Because we as hunters down this way, and there's a lot of coon hunters all across the United States. I've met people from all walks of life, even Amish people that coon hunt with dogs. And it represents looking up to Christ. So the hunters looking up at that tree, they're basically looking up to God and I never thought about that before until and if he hadn't asked me that, it may have been AJ that asked me that. But if they hadn't asked me that, I never would have thought about it. So that's the way I look at it is, when you see that coon on that cross and the dog's tree there and the hunter's looking up, he's looking up to Christ. So.
Man, that's awesome. That that is really awesome. I mean,
Thanks.
it's a lot of times that I hear a lot of different music, and one song popped into my head when you were, when you were speaking about that, is a track by Bizzle, and he talks about there's a lot of different ways to fish. You don't just use one kind of bait. There's a lot of different ways to fish, and with you starting a ministry like this, if you would have never started your chapter, there might have been a lot of hunters and stuff out there that still wouldn't have never known anything about the love of God, Jesus Christ. But you took what you love to do, what God put in you, what you love to do, and you made a ministry out of it. And that is just awesome, man. So salute to you, kudos for you for even branching out and doing something like that. So that's really cool, really cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, like, if anybody wants to follow my ministry, they can look up Coon Hunters Outdoors Ministries on Facebook and give me a like. And then I've got over 1,000 likes. And then I have a group also. It's spelled the same. It just have a little bit different picture as my cover photo for the group. You can join the group, and then you can look me up on YouTube. I have Coon Hunters Outdoors Ministries on YouTube, and I'll post hunting videos. I'll post videos from concerts, all different kind of concerts because I listen to everything from country music to Christian rock to Christian rap, country rap, stuff like that. And I'll post like when I go to concerts. I go to a lot of Christian music concerts, and I'll post my videos on there. And then I recently went to Winter Jam concert. I saw one of my favorites, Christian rock band, Disciple. I saw them and recorded their whole concert and got the video on there. And then another video I have that I have a testimony video of. So a lot of people may not know this, and only the ones that actually watched my video know this because I hadn't made it public on Facebook because I wanted people to actually watch my video to find
Mm-hmm.
out. But recently I was just diagnosed with diabetes, which is like pre-diabetes, and I guess it's type 2 where you're pre or whatever. And I had a huge. I did a video about my health journey going through that, and it just so happens it coincided with an alumni basketball game at my former high school that I was really excited about, been planning for a while. And so I got done with the basketball game, and then I went in and shared my testimony about me going through my diabetes problem and my health, just weight problems and everything else, except for, of course, I had some problems come up after that, but that's mostly my main health problems. And so I just shared my testimony on that video if anybody wants to watch it. But yeah, that's and they can give me a like, comment, and then YouTube has this cool thing too, where you can click the bell on there, and then you click receive all. So if somebody does that to my YouTube, every time I post a video, they'll get a notification every time I post one. That way they won't miss anything.
Right, right. Yeah, man. Definitely prayers to you for that. We know that God is a healer and he's going to heal your body as long as we do our due diligence and do what we need to do to be healed, God is going to heal you most definitely. Um Captain J, want to jump on in there?
Sure. Um, like I said, it's been a long day, so my brain is not completely functioning, so I apologize. Um,
That's all right.
but Jared, I just want to thank you again for, like I said, all you kind of do for us, helping out with sharing information like that for us and all that. So hats off to you for that. Just to jump in with a couple guys here doing those little radio show and station things, we appreciate it.
No problem.
So I got just an odd question. Might be an odd question.
Okay.
This is, it's kind of kind of coming out of Orlando's questions that he usually goes with. So, have you always been raised in the church from like a kid, or does that you came across later on?
Yes, I've always been raised in the church. My mom and dad, they've always gone to church. My dad grew up in a little country church down the road, which is my second home. It's a Basses Creek community called Basses Creek Baptist Church. And it's the second oldest church in the state of Alabama. And it would be the oldest, but they moved it years ago to its current location. But it's now the second oldest church. And then right now I go to Grove Hill Baptist. And so I grew up going to church, and I've always been in church. I'm glad my parents, who are really awesome, I'm glad they got me to go into church, because I wouldn't be where I'm at now if it wasn't for them taking me to church. And
Amen. It's good. It's good to have a good foundation and to build on that. I'll say from childhood. So
yeah,
on that, have you always been into the hunting thing? I mean, I know you live in LA. I mean, well, it's not really the real LA.
yeah, lower Alabama. That's where I live. I live out in the sticks. Yeah. I've always been into fishing. Like, I grew up watching Bill Dance, and Bill Dance, the bloopers, and Bill Dance was like my idol. Him and Hank Parker. I used to watch them growing up, and I didn't get into deer hunting until high school. And I started deer hunting, and then I got into coon hunting. I don't know what year it was, 8 or 9 years ago. My friend Mr. Gerald Ball used to. He would take my dad, and I didn't go, and then now I'm regretting I didn't go those 2 or 3 times they went, or 4 times, however many it was. But now I go, and I go religiously. I go every Thursday night and Friday night, and then some on Saturdays, and it's a good way to fellowship with friends and family, and you don't have to be quiet like you do in deer hunting and other kind of hunting. And then it's good to have fellowship, and then you can also take people that's never been coon hunting before. You can witness to them and stuff like that. So it's a good avenue to branch off and tell people about Jesus.
Oh, awesome. So on that coon hunting idea there, I'm northerner, so I know, I'm assuming it's raccoons, and
Yeah.
what and we do a lot of deer hunting out in the up north. Why raccoons? That would be an odd question, but why raccoons?
Well, they're fun, and to listen to the hound dogs, like there's different kinds of hound dogs we take. You got English red ticks, you got red bone coon hounds, you have Walker coon hounds. There's like black and tans, and there's like 6 or 7 different breeds that you can use. Dogs are just bloodhounds that trail by scent. And so, like, it's just so much fun listening to the dogs go through the woods tree, and then take your friends and just have a whole lot of fun. And then, like, another thing, too, is, like, I love watching hunting shows that teach about, like, I'm not a big fan of some of these hunting shows where all they do is they just hunt only, for the trophy, whatever. But I like the ones that teach you stuff, like how to work the outdoors, why you need to do this, why you need to do that, and it's a good way to like these coons, they will destroy your turkey population, and they'll eat your turkey eggs, and they'll kill your turkeys, and they'll even get a baby deer too. And that's but and they're kind of predators, and it's just a good one, and it kind of helps your other wild game population, especially your turkeys thrive, because they're known for destroying their nests and eating their eggs and stuff.
Okay. Gotcha. So it's they're more, as I know, raccoons. I've experienced with, they're always a nuisance. They get into trash cans and just
Yeah.
so they're more or less clearing up some of the nuisance animal in that aspect. What do you do with the
Pretty much.
What do you do with them when you're done with once you shoot them? What's
So
use?
So some people, like, you can take and skin the hides off of them, and you can use them to train other dogs. Like if you got a puppy that doesn't know how to do it, a lot of these dogs is just bred in their DNA. They're gonna either be good at it or not. But you can take these hides and the smell of it, you can train a dog with it, so they'll learn what to do and get better at it. And then a lot of people eat them. And the one I had at one time, it wasn't that good, but now Miss Gerald tells me, said, "Oh no, you just didn't have it cooked right." He said, "You got to find a little old lady that knows what she's doing, out and cook it right, bake it with potatoes." And I was like, "Okay, well I might, I might try it then." But now the more I look at it, like I looked up different recipes, and one of them is barbecued on the grill, and that sounds so good. It makes me want to slap my whole family and my cousin.
I love your
Look, all I can say is my cousins and family better watch out if I'm gonna eat it.
Oh my goodness! But that actually does sound good though. Barbecued raccoon, yeah, that does sound good.
And I ain't gonna lie, like I'll send you the recipe. Huh?
So barbecue sounds good. I'm not sure about raccoon though.
Like it's a dark meat, but if it's cooked right, like the people I know that eat it and love it, they said it tastes really, really good. Now I'm not an alcohol person. I hate alcohol with a passion, but there's one recipe that the Real Tree Camouflage Company has, and I've shared it several times. But it's barbecue maple bourbon glazed raccoon, and they take bourbon whiskey, and they cook it with the raccoon and grill it, and they put some kind of special glazed barbecue sauce on there, and thankfully it cooks out the alcohol. But that looks so good. Oh my gosh, it looks like it just falls off the bone just looking at it.
Just don't tell me it's ready. I'll probably eat it.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
I won't tell you what it is.
Now, does the raccoon, when you tried it before, I know you said you really didn't like it before, but what's the texture of the meat? Is it like a chicken type texture, or what kind of texture is the raccoon?
It's the one I had it at a beef feast, and the cool thing about this beef feast they do down here, the Thomasville Baptist Church does it in Thomasville, where they get all the men in the area, and they'll cook wild game for them, and they'll have a gospel group play, and they'll have somebody that's famous in the hunting community come up that's got a TV show, or just somebody in general in the outdoor industry, and they'll like show video clips, and they'll come up and they'll preach and give a testimony after all the music. And the year I went, they had a guy named Jimmy Sykes up there, and he has a TV show called Spiritual Outdoor Adventures with Jimmy Sykes. And I ain't gonna lie, I nerded out meeting him because he's been on the air for over 20 years, and I got to meet him, and me and my dad met him, and he shared his testimony that night. But they had the coon on the menu, and it's like 2 or 3 tables for the wild game for all the men there. And so I went through and I tried it, and I told my dad, I said, "Man, I don't like this." But it's a dark meat, but it kind of looks how to describe it? Kind of like if you was to, I don't know how to describe it, but okay. I'm willing to try it again. I know it's dark and it was a little kind of tough, but they said if you cook it right, it's really, really good. So I'm gonna give it a second chance. I'm not gonna recommend everybody don't try it until, you know.
Yeah, I understand that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and jump into some music. And since Rusty's Ship is one of your favorite bands, we're going to jump into a track from them, Living Waters. So off of their latest project, Dark Side of the Ocean. So make sure y'all go check that out if you have not already. And we'll be back with more QuakeRadio.com live, sitting down with Mr. Jared with Coon Hunters Ministry. Let's go. ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're back. This is QuakeRadio.com live, and sitting down with Mr. Jared. Man, all right, all right. Got me hungry over here, Jared. So I'm not gonna be cooking no, barbecuing no coon or nothing, but talking about all that good meat. I don't know.
Look, I'm getting hungry myself too.
One thing that I did want to ask you is when you're out there and you're hunting and everything, how do you find a time, or do you set time to the side to be able to minister? And then also, when do you know it's the right time to minister to somebody while you're out there?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, especially like if you have a friend that goes with you, or if you see somebody at an event you're working, and and they just tell you they've had a bad day, or you can just tell by the way they're talking that they've had a bad day, or this and this has happened, or they're going through this and that. And that's a good way to start it. And then also, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. You can just start with, because I like taking some of my friends hunting, and especially with somebody that's never been. And like a good way to witness besides doing it that way is like you can just talk about, say, hey, God's great, my day's been good, and just kind of start off with something like that, and just kind of show people that how great God is, and they can hear that from you. Say you had a good day, or I had a good week, or I'm excited about going to church, something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. That's a good way to, I guess, in so many words, break the ice. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, other than coon hunting, what else would you say you may have been interested in starting a ministry off of if you weren't doing your ministry through this?
So another good that I like doing too is I'm involved in dirt track racing,
Hmm.
and I go to a lot of dirt track races, and I volunteer for an organization that a really good friend of mine, my buddy Artie Schick. By the way, y'all add my buddy Artie Schick to your prayer list. And anyways, he runs a dirt track organization called the Southern Dirt Track Report, and it's me, Artie, and Amber, and a few other people that's on our team. And basically, what we do is we volunteer, and maybe one day it may be full time job, who knows? But so basically, we volunteer, and we go to dirt track races on the weekend, and we video the races, and then we take pictures, whatever our skill specialty is. Or we have team members that are on our team that work for racetracks, like promoters or whatever, and they'll share their tracks posts. And then we do a podcast every Thursday night during race season called Talking Dirt. And we do that where we interview drivers, and we interview team owners. And one of the things I always like to do when I do my segment, because I cover two racetracks, and when I get done with my segment, I always make sure and tell people, and I do it on my live feed too when I go live on my main page at the racetrack, is I tell people, find you a good church home to go to on Sunday, because God blessed me to be able to be at the racetrack. And if it wasn't for God blessed me to be able to be at the racetrack, then I wouldn't be able to make it to church on Sunday. So I always tell people, find you a good church home on Sunday. And I always try to make sure and mention God on our podcast. And then I got, like, my buddy Robbie Johns has a business called Race Safer Fuel Arrestor, and I'm helping him with that, which is a racing fuel safety product to prevent fuel from spilling from your fuel cell, to keep drivers and cars from catching fire.
Hmm.
And we have another way I like to tell people about Jesus is we have a verse on our logo, and I'm going to read this verse to you. Now, actually, I'm going to read two verses to you. Let me find it. Let's see. All right, so our official verse for that, or for the fuel arrestor, is Psalms 4:8, New International Version. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. So
Hmm.
since we're selling a safety product, we want to show, and I want to show people that you're not only buying a great American-made product, but you're also getting a safety. It's like a safety net in God. So if you're putting your faith in our fuel arrestor, why not put your faith in God? Because He's the ultimate safety device out there. And then, like I'll read this other verse to you. And my official verse from a ministry, because I'm a huge fan of Striper. They're my number one Christian rock group, Striper, and then I listen to Red. Red's my second favorite. But Striper has a verse they use on all their albums ever since the 80s. And the verse is Isaiah 53:5, King James Version. And it says, "But He was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon Him. And with His stripes we are healed."
Amen.
Ain't that great to know that we're healed because God Jesus sacrificed Himself for us.
Amen.
And so, and often when I go to racetrack to video the races, whatever, I take all these witnessing tracks I get from my church and stuff, and even ones that I have, and I'll pass them out to drivers. I'll pass them out to fans, whoever, because you never know who you're going to run into at the racetrack that is lost and don't know Jesus. And like my friend Ron Southern that made my logo, so he's the track chaplain and announcer at Hattiesburg Speedway and Outlaw Speedway in Mississippi. And his ministry is, of course, Racing Towards Jesus Ministries, and he's got a Facebook for it. And he likes to tell racers and people about Jesus. And if I wasn't, mainly focused, more focused on the coon hunting, then I would have went into the dirt track side of. And I still do it. I still use both because really, a lot of people like both hunting and racing. So what better 1-2 punch than to share Jesus with both demographics of people.
Right. Amen to that. I know I had Crimson Overtone on the show was it last week? Yeah, I believe it was last week, last Wednesday. Had them on the show, and one of the fellas, I can't remember which one, but one of the guys, that's his full-time job. He works on race motorbikes, racing bikes, and he was saying that that's what he would be doing outside of the band, far as his ministry and everything is up there at the on the racetracks and things of that nature, speaking to God about, speaking to the different drivers and things of that nature about God and stuff. So that's pretty cool, man. That's awesome.
That is cool that you told me that. That is cool because I got to look him up and look their music up because that's pretty cool because, even in drag racing, whether it's circle track, dirt track, it don't matter. There's a lot of lost people that go to these events, and what better way than to tell them about Jesus and pass them. You ain't even gotta preach to them. All you gotta do is do what I do. I give them these little, like the Gideons. I think it's the Gideons, or has these little books called the Life Book, and it's basically the Book of Mark. And my church gets these books, and they pay so much, and then they get them for free or something. And it's like thousands of them in a box. And so I'll take them. I'll pass them out to anybody I see. It don't matter where I'm at, Pizza Hut. It don't matter. And I'll take them, and especially at the racetrack. And I have yet to have anybody refuse a free gift. Like I'll tell them, say, "Hey, here's your free gift." Most of them thank you, and then you got some of them that are just stunned and just kind of look, and it's like, okay. But it's pretty cool to, something's like it says in the Bible, just plant that one little seed, and you never know what that'll do. Just giving that one little old bitty book,
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Captain J, jump on in here, bro.
Tagging me in.
It's a tag team match.
That's against you. Oh, you're a hunter. We're in trouble.
Look, if y'all was a wrestling, so I know Captain J would be your wrestling name. So what would Orlando's name be?
I don't even know. Joe or something of that nature.
Joe presents.
Yeah. O presents. I presents the people's elbow. Drop it down on you. There you go.
Actually, I think it'd be Uncle Joe.
Man,
I like it.
exactly.
So, you're talking about how you go to a lot of concerts. I mean, I kind of see that with your Facebook posts. I don't know how you have time to sleep because you got your the work you do and then ministry stuff and then like you're always on the move. But how many concerts do you say you probably go to in an average year or month? How you want to break it?
I don't know. I want to say busier than a one-armed trombone player. Don't even describe it. Yeah, let me tell you, that boy be busy. No, I don't know. Like, I go to the concerts I can afford, and then me and my dad's been going to some great concerts. Let's see, I try to go at least 3 or 4 a year. I always make time to go to the Winter Jam Festival because it's 10 Christian bands and a guest speaker for $15, or you can get the Jam Pass, which is what me and my buddy John did. John helps my ministry, so that I'm glad John went with me. We went and saw Winter Jam 2 weeks ago, and it was awesome. There was Disciple, it was We the Kingdom, Jeremy Camp. It was all the big names, but Disciple and We the Kingdom put on the best shows. And Disciple, they've been doing. A lot of people don't know this, but they've been doing Christian music since I think it was 93 was when they started. And I don't know, but the bucket list concert, and I've seen Red 4 times in concert. They're my second favorite, and I got to meet the band. But my bucket list concert is Striper because they're not ashamed to tell people about Jesus. Every single song, if you don't hear Jesus in one of their songs, there's something wrong. And they always have that verse, Isaiah 53:5, King James. That's how they got their name, is by our stripes we're healed. So I love that verse, and Michael Sweet and the guys at Striper. I'd love to see them in concert, meet them. That's on my bucket list.
That's it. Yeah. So the concerts life can be expensive if you go to, like you said, like Winter Jam. $15. Can't really beat that. Well, it used to be 10. I started going when it was 10.
Yeah, it used to be 10, then went up to 15, and then went back to 10, and then went back up to 15 again this year. Which, to be honest with you, look, 10 bands and guest speaker for $15, you can't beat that with a stick.
Yeah. Yeah. So like what my wife and I do. When we were going before COVID hit, we would actually go and serve. We'd go and we do a variety of things. We work at either some of the booths for the artists. Like 1 year we worked at the New Song booth.
Oh, cool.
And the lead singer from New Song came up and he goes, I need 15 of those shirts. I look at him and go, who do you think you are? He kind of looks at me and I was like, what did you know? Like, oh, yeah, the lead singer. You're good to go. Pick what you need. But we would serve at the event, so we get to meet some of the artists, that kind of thing. And all that kind of. No, I walked by John Cooper's guitar. Judy yelled at me not to touch it.
Man.
But so we get to we go to serve, but we still pay the 15. But we get to serve, and then we get to meet some of the artists that way, and just serve in that aspect, but also enjoy the show.
That's awesome.
It's a fun way to do it. It's a different tweak on doing a concert because you're not just out there just listening, but you're also serving and enjoying at the same time. So,
and that's awesome. I can see where that would benefit a lot of people because most of these bands at Winter Jam, they can't afford to, bring their merch team on the show, and a lot of times it is the bands themselves selling their own merch. So that's like when I went to that Pale City show for Disciple, and me and Cliff got to meet them. They were pretty much selling their own merch, except they had one guy with them that was helping them, and then of course, like you said at Winter Jam, when I was at the Disciple booth, I just happened to see the guitarist Josiah Prince, and that was the second time I got to meet him. I was like, man, it's so cool I get to meet him again. And I saw these 2 young kids working their booth, and I bet you they were teenagers. They were like 13, 14, if that, but they stayed there the whole night and did what you and Judy did, and they sold their merch. And I bet the Disciples sold out of every single CD they had. And I thought it was cool to see these kids there because you never know. Some other kids that were there may have seen them, or like when you and Judy was there, and they may have seen y'all working and said, "Hey, look what they're doing. If they can do it, I can do something like that."
Yeah, and it's definitely rewarding to do that. Like I said, there's probably an organization on there that does volunteering, and you'd be great at that. There's very different spots that you can do there. I would recommend it if you go whatever Jen you see about volunteering or serving there, is to have a whole different perspective of that event when you start seeing that. And then, like I said, and it's a great experience. Sorry, went off on a tangent there.
No, that's cool. I mean, I think, like you said, anybody should see about volunteering at the Winter Jam event because, like you said, you get to meet the artists. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm not one of these people that like worship like famous people, or whatever. But I ain't gonna lie, I do kind of nerd out when I meet some of these people because they're just cool people, and a lot of them are just regular folks like us. But like just serving like that, you get to meet these people too, and that's a big bonus in itself.
Yeah. So I got to meet some great folks and just watch them in their element as being people, and it brings a reality to it that they're just up there, doing some stuff and in that aspect. So
well,
yeah,
it's like and like what you're saying is like so. Not everybody is called to be a musician, especially me, because my voice is so horrible they wouldn't even put me on the TV taping for American Idol. But like to sing, but my voice is horrible. But there's certain things for certain people, and that's one of them that's just made for certain people. Not everybody can get on stage and just sing in front of thousands of people and tell them about Jesus.
Mm-hmm. So we know that like heavy metal, hard rock is your favorite genre. You do like hip hop. Of all the hip hop music that you listen to, what artist is your favorite, and which artists have you actually met that you in the hip hop realm?
Let's see. So, of course, I do listen to country rap, but Christian rap I do listen to a good bit of it too. And let's see, I listen to Rare Breed a good bit. I love KJ52. He's my favorite. KJ52. KJ52's been doing it so long, he can wrap circles around Eminem and make him look like a baby rapper. Let's see, who else? Let's see. I listen to, of course, tuning into y'all's station, I've been listening to Integrity. He's cool.
Yeah.
And Mike Waddle, and Mike Waddle's really cool. And then of course, Chai Boy. I think y'all put some of Chai Boy's music on your station. I'm a big fan of his. But Seth Harden, man, like y'all need to look up Seth Harden music on Facebook. That's my dude, man. Like I met him at an event a few years ago called Calling All Messengers event, and it was Seth Harden, and it was one of my another favorite Christian rock band of mine. They're no longer a band, sadly. But it was By the Fire, and Seth Harden opened for them, and that was the first time I've heard of him and met him. And I drove like 2 hours to go to that concert. It was well worth it. And Seth Harden, man, he went up there and he went hard, man, on stage. I said, man, who is this cat, man? He is cool. And I met him, and I was like, man, he's so cool to talk to. And one of the cool things is he's from Birmingham, Alabama, which is like 2 hours from me. And he's another one that rappers. He can rap. Look, if somebody gave Seth Harden a spotlight on one of these big mainstream stations, he'd make a lot of these artists look like baby rappers, like they just need to get off the radio and just play him. And like if you get a chance, look up Seth Harden music on Facebook, and he's got a YouTube, and buy his music on Amazon, and he's got 3 albums, Wolf Talk Part 1, Wolf Talk Part 2, and then Beyond Me is the other album I got on CD. But yeah, if you get a chance, look him up. And I ain't gonna lie, there's some songs of his I can rap it word for word. I ain't no singer, but I can rap a song if I. But I'm not one of those that likes to read the lyrics. I actually like to play it over and over and over 1,000 times and just keep rapping it until I finally get the song down pat.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Awesome. I kind of ran out of questions.
What?
So I had questions,
Well,
questions in the question that I had.
It's all good.
Well, I
It's
wanna
all
tell-
good.
Lined up.
Like-
I'm like, oh, there's the answer. There was that question.
with something people need to do, support your small radio station. Don't support, I mean, your small radio station like these guys over here at Quake RYC Praise News. So a lot of people don't know, and I learned this from Jay, is Quake stands for King Without a Crown Every Day, which is pretty cool. And then I like Orlando's take where it says RYC Praise News, where music is therapy. Because music is therapy, because look, there's a lot of songs I listen to, especially from Disciple and Red, that just make me cry. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a grown man. I don't get upset about nothing. But if I listen to a certain song and it touches me, like with a problem I have in life or whatever, and it just hits me. But everybody needs to support this radio station because they're small, and maybe one day, if God wills it, they'll turn this into an FM also and have both. And then buy some merch from them, share their Facebook, like find them everywhere. Quake RYC Praise News on Facebook. Everybody share it, and if you want to donate to their ministry and help them grow, because they could use it.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. What we're going to do is we're going to jump into some more music real quick here. This track here is actually from Crimson Overtone. It's called Unbelief. So off of their album Assimilation, well, EP Assimilation. So make sure y'all go check that out anywhere that you stream your music, anywhere that you purchase music. And we'll be right back with more Quake RYC Praise News, where music is therapy. QuakeRadio.com live. Let's go.
Rising, flooding my brain, paralyzing, pushing me back to the edge. But I can't make myself jump. Suffering comes, suffering ends. I know that I will begin, but right now the cracks are starting to break open. I can't take much more. Rising, flooding my brain, paralyzing, pushing me back to the edge. But I can't make myself jump. Suffering comes, suffering ends. I know that I will begin, but right now the cracks are starting to break open. I can't take much more. comes, suffering ends. I know that I will be again. Right now the cracks are starting to break open. I can't take much more, but suffering comes, suffering ends. I know that I will be again. And right now the cracks are starting to break open. Help my unbelief, though my complaint is bitter. And I know what you will answer. Still, will you contend with me? Although your face remains elusive, whisper again to me until your whispers become true.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're back with more QuakeRadio.com live. I'm your humble host, Orlando Presents. We got my brother, Captain J, and we're sitting down with Mr. Jared tonight. Yes, yes, yes. Man, it's been a wonderful, wonderful night, man. I really enjoyed you on here, brother. We really thank you once again for coming on. If you have any shout outs or if you want to, leave a word of encouragement or anything of that nature, the floor is yours, bro.
Yeah, I just, man, this has been super awesome because, like, I do a dirt track podcast on Thursdays during race season, and I've never done a live radio show except for the podcast, and that's a little different because this is a radio station, so this is pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie. Like, this is super cool. I'm glad Jay asked me to do it, and I'm glad y'all brought me on, and y'all got a great show, and I want to shout out my mom and dad, Lamar, Latona, my brothers, Blake. Blake was listening. I don't know if Mari's listening or not, but hopefully Mari's listening. And then, of course, my two best friends, Matt and Josh Robinson, and John helps me with my ministry team. And so I got two more little things, but first I'm going to ask y'all a question. So what do you call Jesus working out?
I don't know. What do you call Jesus working out?
Jehovah Fitness.
So,
and then the second one. So I love jokes. I love making people laugh. And when you got a bad day, I love making people laugh. I love corny jokes. I don't like cuss words, so I can't stand a perverted joke or anything with cuss words in it. But I love me some Chuck Norris jokes. And there was one that, speaking of music, because I'm a huge Chuck Norris fan. Like, if I ever meet him, I'm gonna nerd out. And like, there was one, speaking of music. It said before the Black Eyed Peas met Chuck Norris, they were known as the Peas. I wish that was a true story.
Oh my goodness. All right, man. Okay. I see you got a budding stand-up career starting off there. So, comedy.
Well, they said that Chuck Norris can do a wheelie on a unicycle.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, yeah. Man. Well, once again, man, we appreciate you coming on, brother. It was definitely an eye opener. I learned a lot, definitely, especially about coon hunting and things of that nature in your ministry and stuff that you're into. So good to have you on and learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you, appreciate it, and tell everybody the main thing I like to tell people. Especially when I sign off of the podcast I do or whatever, I like to tell people God loves you, Jesus saves.
Amen. 100% correct on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to wrap it up for this episode of QuakeRadio.com Live. And we just appreciate everybody's support out there. Thank you very much for listening in. Also, just to let y'all know, we are a 501c listener base station. So if you're interested in donating towards the station, you can go to quakeradio.com, and there's a donation button on there. And feel free to donate anything that God moves you to donate. The money does not go into our pocket. The money goes towards different events to try to do different events in the cities that we're in, and then also to just keep the station up and running and going, and the maintenance of the station. That's about it. So like I said, whatever God moves you to donate, hey, we're more than happy to receive that and take that and do what God allows us to do and what we love to do. Tomorrow night, Thursday, we have a special guest, our buddy and our sister, the CEO and the host of the Devout Jamcast, Ms. DJ Iceberg 365, a.k.a. Amanda Haley, and also our RYC Praise News anchor reporter. She will be on the show tomorrow night, so that's a long time coming. I've been trying to get her on the show forever, so all in God's timing, and we're going to have a great time tomorrow night as well, sitting down talking to her. And you know what tomorrow night usually is Thursday night is gumbo night, so make sure you bring your bowls, because we're still going to have some great music that we're going to play tomorrow night. And you never know, I might get Captain J to sing tomorrow night, so hey.
Well, I won't be on tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You got class tomorrow night, so.
I could do some training for our ACT, which is our Artist Christian Testimony. That's where our 501c3 is through. I got to do some training with them and stuff. So it happens to be on Thursdays at 8 p.m. And I was like, I want to be on the show. One or the other. I mean, I could technically miss, but I don't really want to miss. One of 8 weeks. I want to make sure I do right on that.
It's all good.
I will definitely listen in afterwards, because I can't multitask.
It's all good. It's all good. So like I said, we're going to have DJ Iceberg 365 tomorrow night. So make sure y'all tune in 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on QuakeRadio.com. Download the free Live 365 app. And also, I didn't even know, and I guess Captain J forgot, but we're on TuneIn as well. So if you download the free TuneIn app and you just type in Quake Radio, then we'll pop up on there as well, and you can download that for free and listen to us on there as well. So, and radio.net as well. So, yeah, and anywhere that you listen to the podcast, this show will be on there, and also we will be on our YouTube channel. You go to Quake RYC Praise News, and we're on there as well. So, all right, y'all have a peaceful night, and we're going to end the night off with, where is he at? There you go. We're going to end the night off with Manifest, I Run With Wolves. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow night, and y'all have a blessed one. Like to end it, God wants the best for you. Do you want the best for yourself? All right, peace.
From it, black skies coming like a tide flooding. Better keep running, hear feet rushing. Can't see nothing like being hunted. I'm cold-blooded, I run with wolves. You play to lose, I'm making moves. I run with wolves like raging bulls. I'm chasing you, come and get me. I'm not taking it anymore. I'm laid up and ready for war. from me, don't look now.